Imagine waking up on a quiet summer morning in a small American town. Birds are chirping, neighbors are watering their lawns, nothing feels unusual. But inside one house, something horrifying has just happened. A wealthy businessman lies brutally murdered on his living room couch. His skull has been shattered by an axe. Upstairs, his wife lies in a pool of blood, struck again and again. And the prime suspect? His own daughter. This is the chilling and mysterious story of Lizzie Borden, one of the most famous murder cases in American history. A case so disturbing, it inspired a nursery rhyme children still whisper today. Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41. But here's the twist. Lizzie Borden was acquitted of the murders. So the question remains, more than a century later, did Lizzie Borden really kill her parents? Or did a murderer get away with the perfect crime? Let's dive into one of the most haunting mysteries in American history. Our story begins in Fall River, Massachusetts, in the late 1800s. At the time, Fall River was a booming mill town filled with factories, wealth, and hardworking families. Among the wealthiest residents was Andrew Borden, a successful businessman and property investor. Andrew was incredibly wealthy for the time, but there was something strange about him. Despite having a fortune worth millions in today's money, Andrew lived extremely frugally. His home lacked many basic luxuries wealthy families enjoyed: no indoor plumbing, no electricity, no fashionable neighborhood. Many people found Andrew's lifestyle odd, but the real tension inside the Borden house wasn't about money. It was about family. Andrew lived with his wife, Abby Borden, his daughters, Emma and Lizzie. However, Abby was not their biological mother. She was their stepmother. And the relationship between Abby and the daughters was tense. Some reports say Lizzie and Emma refused to even call Abby mother. Instead, they simply called her Mrs. Borden. As years passed, resentment inside the home quietly grew. Arguments over inheritance, family disputes, and rumors of deep resentment. But no one could have predicted what would happen next. The morning of August 4th, 1892, began like any other summer day. Andrew Borden left the house early to run errands downtown. Inside the home were Lizzie, Abby, and the family maid, Bridget Sullivan. Bridget had spent the morning cleaning windows outside. Around 9:30 a.m., Abby Borden went upstairs to make the bed in the guest room. It would be the last thing she ever did. Because moments later, someone attacked her with an axe. The killer struck her repeatedly. The blows were so violent that her skull was completely crushed. Abby died instantly. But strangely, no one in the house reported hearing anything. Nearly an hour later, Andrew Borden returned. He was tired, laid down on the couch in the sitting room. He never had a chance. While he slept, someone approached him with the same weapon, an axe. The killer struck him again and again, destroying his face beyond recognition. It was one of the most brutal murders Fall River had ever seen. But the most shocking part? Only one person was in the house: Lizzie Borden. Shortly after the second murder, Lizzie called out to the maid, "Bridget, come quick, father's dead." Bridget rushed inside and saw the horrifying scene. Andrew Borden lay on the couch, blood covering the room. Lizzie claimed she'd been outside in the barn looking for fishing equipment. She said she had no idea what happened, but something felt off to investigators. When police searched the house, they discovered Abby Borden's body upstairs. Now, the mystery deepened. Two brutal murders inside a locked house in broad daylight, and only three people were present: the maid, Lizzie, and the victims. Suspicion immediately turned toward Lizzie Borden. Police quickly began examining the crime scene, but this investigation would soon become controversial. Incredibly, police allowed Lizzie to remain inside the home during the investigation. She was not immediately arrested, and critical evidence was mishandled. Still, investigators found several suspicious details. First, Lizzie's story kept changing. She initially said she had been in the barn for 20 minutes. Later, she said 30 minutes, then 40 minutes. Another strange detail involved a dress. Witnesses claimed Lizzie was seen burning a dress in the kitchen stove shortly after the murders. She claimed the dress had paint on, but many believed she was destroying evidence. Then came perhaps the most shocking discovery. In the basement, investigators found a hatchet. The handle appeared freshly clean, and the blade looked like it had recently been washed. Could this be the murder weapon? Police believed they had their suspect. And soon, Lizzie Borden was arrested. The trial of Lizzie Borden began in 1893. It immediately became a national sensation. Newspapers across the country covered every detail. Crowds lined up outside the courthouse. People debated the case in homes, saloons, and workplaces. The prosecution argued Lizzie had motive. Her father controlled a large fortune, and tensions over inheritance had been growing. They also pointed to her suspicious behavior. The burned dress, the inconsistent story, the hatchet. But Lizzie's defense team was brilliant. They focused on one key argument. A woman like Lizzie could never commit such brutal murders. In the Victorian era, society believed women were delicate and incapable of extreme violence. The defense also attacked the investigation. Evidence had been mishandled. The crime scene was contaminated, and there were no witnesses. Then came a moment that stunned the courtroom. Lizzie fainted during the trial. Many jurors reportedly felt sympathy for her. After weeks of testimony, the jury deliberated for just 90 minutes, and their verdict shocked the nation. Not guilty. Lizzie Borden walked free. Even though she was acquitted, Lizzie Borden's life would never return to normal. The public remained convinced she was guilty. She moved into a large mansion in Fall River with her sister Emma. The home was ironically named Maplecroft. Lizzie began using the name Lizbeth instead. She lived a quiet but strange life. She loved theater. She hosted parties with actors and performers, but most of the town avoided her. Then in 1905, Emma suddenly moved out. The sisters never spoke again. To this day, historians still debate why. Some believe Emma discovered something disturbing. Others believe the tension of the past simply became too much. Lizzie Borden lived the rest of her life in isolation. She died in 1927 at the age of 66, still officially innocent, but still suspected by many. More than 130 years later, the Lizzie Borden case remains unsolved. Some historians believe Lizzie absolutely committed the murders. Others think the real killer escaped unnoticed. There are even theories about an unknown intruder, a family enemy, a jealous business rival, the maid Bridget. But none of these theories have ever been proven. Today, the Borden house still stands in Fall River, and it has become one of the most famous haunted locations in America. Visitors claim to hear footsteps, doors slamming, and even ghostly whispers. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, one thing is certain: the mystery of Lizzie Borden refuses to die. Because somewhere inside that house, the truth of what happened on that summer morning in 1892 still remains hidden. And perhaps it always will. What do you think? Did Lizzie Borden commit one of the most shocking murders in American history, or was she wrongly accused?